myth number 11 on the 12th condition. I think some of you guys did that, right? 12th condition. Okay. This is so important before we discuss this topic today. It's basically on the following tools. So these are the basic information, and don't miss that, because after this, after this week or the next, we learn some basic Buddhist principle, and we could not have time to go back. Okay, so we'd like to talk about the 12 conditions. What are they?
Well, the first one is consciousness.
Not really. I will show you this map.
The first one is ignorance, right?
Yes.
Not knowing suffering, not knowing what causes suffering.
Yes.
And not knowing how to end suffering, not knowing the path to ending suffering.
Yeah.
And suffering then brings about fabrications. And that's the fabrications of the mind and body. And then fabrications lead to consciousness, which leads to name and form. And I think that's made up of the 6 senses, which is feeling, perception, intention, contact, and attention. And those senses, once you come into contact with something, you start feeling sensations. And then once you get attached to those sensations, you can start craving it, and then you start clinging to it. And then that leads to bad karma, which then continues the cycle of rebirth.
Okay. Here, like I told you, this is Buddhist concept about what we call reincarnation. And the first one, ignorance and karmic formation, that's mean karma. It belongs to the past. Ignorance. And karma. That's past. That's what happened to us in the past. We believe in reincarnation. In the past, ignorance here doesn't mean that we don't understand anything. We understand some, we don't understand others. Remember the day that somehow when you have conversation with your friends, right, you have good conversation, but suddenly somehow out of the blue, you say something that they will be offended to your friends during the karma, and they say sorry, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Remember? So that's ignorance there, right? That's past. And second one is from consciousness to my mother and so on, go to becoming. That's the present. And the last pair, birth, decay, so that's the future. So basically, remember I told you guys the most important question in our life: where did we come from, and where we're headed to. So this circle, this 12 condition may explain in brief that's how we come from and where we're headed to. Okay, so I conclude this view. In the past, whichever, like let's say past life, whichever, we have raised some karma. Right? Remember we discussed about karma, all karmas. Last time, one group lists all karmas there. And because of karma, we come here in the form of what we call the consciousness. Let me show you. Here the Buddhist consciousness. We have 8 kinds of consciousness. Did I tell you yes last time? Alright, so the 8 consciousness is considered as the storage. Whichever thing you talk, whichever thing you see, whatever thing you hear and so forth is stored there. All kind of information there. And this number 7 is like the transmitter, messenger. Number 6 is like the owner in the house. Whichever we see, whichever we hear, it will send to number 7, and the messenger will put in the storage. So all information in the past is stored there. So if you drink, let's say, some kind of habitual karmas, remember like smoking, you get used of that. You cannot. It's not easy to get away from it. Or if you have habitual karma, waking up early in the morning, that's good karma, and that's good habitual karma because you have the feedback from the 8 contractors, that's mean the storage. Remember, if you go to South America or wherever you go, you're looking for Vidano because you get used of that already. Make sense? So that's 8 contractors. Now the karma comes with us in the form of consciousness. And that's number 8. It's carry on. It's like if you have some problem with your laptop or your desktop, right? There's something wrong with the motherboard or something wrong with whichever part of the computer. You take out the C drive and plug into the different one, the new one. This one, you store everything in the past, and then you plug into the new line when you were born. Make sense now? Right? Alright, so that's still important. All karmas will come in form of consciousness. Remember we told you about the energy? This is energy. Our consciousness is the energy that we accumulate all kind of karmas, and after we pass away, this is the first one who will enter the wombs. And this will be the last one to leave the body. Make sense now? This is the energy. And this consciousness in human life, in animal lives, in heaven, in the celestial life too. In all kind. Okay? So that's consciousness. And mind, matter, that's mean body and mind. Body and mind. The spirits, these are the wombs, have the body and the mind, right? And they don't have systems. Right? System of 5 senses. The eyes, ears, nose, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, and so forth. Okay? And when you have the systems, what you have? You have contact. Let's say when you open your eyes, you see this. When you close your eyes, you could not see. Makes sense? And when you touch, when you hold that cup, you have the feeling. It's where the cold or hot and so forth. That's just in contact. And the feeling, you have the feeling. Let's say when you drink that drink, right? You have good feeling about that. It tastes good. You buy more, you drink more. It doesn't, you will not drink anymore. Okay? And what happens if you like Starbucks? Craving. You want more. You want more. You have good, yes?
But what if you have cravings for healthy things like water? This is so unacceptable.
Most of the times, when we talk about that, when we talk about attachment, most of the time when we have good feeling or anything, whether it's money, whether it's relationship, whether it's power and so forth, we try to grab, we try to attach. We talk about that attachment. Okay? And when we have the craving, what happens? We want to clean it, right? Want to keep on, right? Try to keep on that, right? That's just cleaning attachment. Cleaning. And the last one is becoming. Let's say if you like some type of pizza, for example, right? You love some type of pizza, you can make it at home. Or you can buy more, become it. You can buy more, you get more. And when you get more, you have, this is go to the other cycle, one more cycle. In a sense, let's say if something wrong with your laptop, right? And now everyone has a laptop, right? Or an iPad, or a cell phone, and so forth. Would you give up if somehow you break your iPad or cell phone? You give up? You don't use anymore? You don't use anymore? You buy a new one. You buy a new one because it's cleaning. You buy a new one so that you can get it. You can use it. That's some form of attachment there. You see that? There's a whole cycle. And even when we now as human, right? We have this physical body. What happens if we done with this body? We clean this body, and we try to find out. We try to go to different realms, different lives of becoming healed. And this goes again the cycle. Whichever karma we create now, after we pass away, is in form of energy. That's what we call consciousness. And we will cling to, remember, according to Buddhist view, six kinds of birth, remember, human, celestial beings, animal, and so forth, whichever way we want to go. You see, that's a cycle, birth and death. That explains the whole cycle of life, past, present, and future. It makes sense? So that's why it's important, especially your energy here, right? Let's say if you spend more time in learning math, as you spend more time for physics and computer, you store all your energy, all that kind of habitual pattern or knowledge in physics and computer. And when you were born, you get use of that. You know, many children they are gifted children, right? Why? Because they had the energy, they had that skill before, and now they came back in different forms of life. Last time we didn't have time to show you the people. It's all kind. If you type reincarnation now, all stories that talk about reincarnation that relate to this one. You see, that's a cycle. Yes, sir.
So when the conscience is like when you die, your conscience goes like gets reincarnated to something else. Like it's your conscience, right?
Mm-hmm. In different forms.
So you have like all that memory, right?
Yeah. You still have that.
But you're not supposed to like that's being attached to that memory then with the
well, it's somehow it's built in. It's built in that we have some kind of attachment. As human or as beings, we have some kind of attachment. You see, your cat, your dog attached to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
So
we attach to certain kind of people, our spouse, our parents, whichever things we attach to, this has been built in. So the only thing we can say is to detach things so that can be free, otherwise it's not easy. When we attach to, let's say, smoking, right? If you have problem with smoking, when you stop by at grocery store or gas station, you rush in and buy some cigarette for you to smoke. But if you don't have any kind of attachment, right, addiction, you just walk in there, you'll be free. Make sense now? Right? So again, if you understand this, you would understand why you need to change this one. This is more important. Okay? Alright, so let's move on. Yes, understand? So that is what we call 12 planes of condition or dependent origin. That's why we go again and again. And this is what we call samsara. Okay? Alright, so let's go to number 1 then. Which one is number 1? Yes, please. What's number 1?
Let's talk about the first noble truth
Yes.
of Buddhism, which
Yes.
is suffering. And there's 3 aspects to it.
Okay.
And it's that we have to know what suffering is, we have to know the different causes, and we have to know what ends it and the path that ends it.
Okay. What's meant by suffering?
Well, there's three different types of suffering. There's like ordinary suffering,
Oh, good.
which is stuff such as like aging and like different things that happen to us, sickness and all kinds of stuff. Then there's suffering caused by change. So it's like whenever your emotions change, like one day you're happy and then like one day you're just kind of down. Even if you come out of that funk, it still has caused suffering in your cycle. And then it's suffering as conditioned states, which is things such as like your senses and the attachment you get from your senses. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so?
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it. See, you can't write.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's put this way here. And so why did the Buddha mention about suffering first? Why?
Because it starts the cycle.
Okay. All right. Now, let me explain to you briefly before we go further. Okay. Now, what is the first one? It's pretty important. This type lesson is so important. Okay, because this is basic principle of Buddhism. So the form number 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, need to mind for me what is meant by true? What's meant true? In every tradition, oh, this is my tradition is true and so forth. But tell me, what is meant by true? Oh no. What's meant by the truth? Yes, sir.
I think it's the source of suffering is attachment.
No, forget this is kind of important to when I'm talking about the definition of the truth. What's mean? Yeah, by itself. What's mean? Yes, sir.
It's the fact of belief that it is true.
Can you speak?
It's like a fact or belief that it is true.
Believe?
A fact or
The
belief
fact of belief?
that is
Okay.
accepted as true.
Okay. Alright, so now let's talk in the logical way, okay? Reasonable way. And now the truth means it happened in the past, right? If it happened now and be happen future, is that the truth? You don't know?
That was true.
Alright. Okay, let me give you one example. Okay. Now, it's past, present, future. Okay? So let's say, okay, in the past, did people die? Do people die? Are we going to die? Is that true? See that? In the past, did they have some kind of illness?
Yes.
Now we have some kind of illness. In the future, our next generation, will they have some kind of illness? Maybe. Okay, I see. But still up to now, right?
Well, up to now, but that's present.
In the present, okay. Now, let's say, so you understand, right? You understand my explanation. Let's say talk about the lifespan of human, right? We have certain, and the past people have certain lifespan, and now up to 100 and probably 1,000, who knows? But still they have to go, right? So that's the truth. It's happening in the past, it's happening now, and it will be happening in the future. That's in Buddhist view is the truth. It makes sense now?
Yeah.
Okay, now, move on. Now, you can have some kind of fever, who have been in hospital before? Okay, some of you. Okay. Let's say just take one example. Most all of you visit doctor already, right? Okay. So what's the person when you see the doctor? What did he say to you? How are you, of course. And he would ask you about your symptom, right? Whether it's stomachache, whichever, right? The first one is symptom. Okay, second one was that. Let's say you have stomach. What happened? You ate some kind of spoiled food or wrong food, like colds. The reason why you have stomach, right? And you can walk away from him without paying a penny. If he does not give you any medicine, any prescription. So number 3, he said, well, your stomach can be cured, right? Right. So that is the end of your stomach of sickness, right? The last one, well, what did he do? He gave you the way or prescription, right? For you to take care of your stomach, is that right? And that is exactly what's part of the truth. You see now, the person, the Buddha say the symptom is suffering. The truth of suffering. Okay, so second one, the cause of suffering, the reason why we have a suffering, right? And number 3, the Buddha say, well, everything come and go. Everything is impermanent, whether it's physical or whether it's mental or whichever. One day we end the suffering. The opposite side of suffering is what? Happiness. Makes sense? And the last one, he said, there's a way of prescription to get out of the end that kind of suffering. It makes sense now? So that's what form two is for. But remember, especially this one here, we study on Thursday. The way to end the suffering is up to us to take it. It's like it's up to you to take the medicine. Yes, you can have the prescription from the doctor, and you go to Walmart, whichever place, pharmacies, you buy. And if you don't take it, who cares? Is that right? And may go back to visit the doctor again, and you have to pay more. See, that's why the Buddha said it's a choice, not Buddha choice. Okay, so the way he mentioned us is two or many ways. Let me show you this map. This is better. Okay, here, the symptoms, the cause, possibility of cure of cessation of suffering, and prescription. Make sense now? Okay. That is most important. Let me move down here. Right here, the truth of suffering. Why? Again, I told you the truth of suffering. When we talk about the first one, spiritual. Let's say talking about physical suffering. Physical suffering, right? What do we have? What do we have? We have some kind of illness, right? Getting old, aging, and death. See, no one can escape from that. It's just regardless tradition we follow. Does that make sense now? About the spiritual or mental, let's say mental. What do you have mental suffering? Yes, stress. You have test anxiety. You have tests coming up. You have tests coming up. It's nervous. You're nervous. Most of the time you take multiple choice or essay. Multiple choice. Sometimes you circle first the right question, the right answer, but later on you change to the wrong answer, right? That's the nervous anxiety, depression, and so forth, right? So that's mental illness. Of course, spiritual and economy does mean you go to school to get the diploma to be doctor, engineer, whichever, to make more money, right? So that's sometimes it stress you out to pay the tuition too. Is that right? Most you loan the money, you have student loan, or your parents pay all for you. You may need to handle. Okay, that's the true suffering. That is the mental illness, whichever. That's one here. Okay, and the next one, number 2. Who does number 2? Who does number 2? And let me go back before we move on to. I just mentioned reason. Why again? Why did the Buddha mention about the suffering first? Why?
You have to recognize that it's suffering.
Yeah. If you don't recognize, and no matter what, whether you run away or you put it aside, you still have to deal with that. Is that right? One day, or you have to do it every day. Let's say when you're sick, can you run away from your sickness? Can you run away from your stress, anxiety? The more you run away, the more you try to fight or flight, right? The more it come back to you. That's why Buddha point out this is something we need to deal with, not to solve the problems. Okay? And that is the ultimate question of the life. Whether we want to have happiness and suffering. Definitely all of us want to have happiness, right? No one wants to have the suffering. But why we have that? Because we have body and we have this kind of mentality. We don't know how to handle our mentality, our mind. That's what the Buddha might want to mention. Okay, so number 2, provide your future. Okay, who number 2? No one? Okay, what's your thinking about? What you think about the genre of materialized? Okay, life is beautiful. Life is happy. What do you think?
I think life is pretty good so far.
And so far. Okay. How many of you think that life is beautiful? Life is happy? Okay. How many of you say life is suffering? No? Okay. Why? Why is that? Why? Huh?
I said it was beautiful.
Oh, beautiful? Why is beautiful?
Well, it's sometimes not so beautiful, but right now I feel like it's beautiful because I'm doing something.
How about you, lady? Why is life suffering? Why?
Well, I think that there is so much beauty around us, but it's suffering because we're destroying it, or we're not able to enjoy it, or it is something that we crave. We're not free from all the beauty that's around us.
You enjoy to go to school?
Yeah.
No.
How many of you say that you enjoy to go to school? How many of you say that I don't enjoy at all? What happened? Oh really? How about you? It's hard? It's hard for you? Anxiety? Well, I hope that in next year we'll offer mindfulness class and meditation for people in the campus. When you know how to deal with your mind, when you do meditation, you have that calmness, and you can deal with any kind of situation, and you can deal with the fluctuation in your life, especially with your mind. Yes?
But if we're informed on the cycle of suffering and pleasure, does that mean that we can enjoy both sides of it? In a sense?
Now here's the point. This one can be beneficial, right? Because we can use this to right. But this one can be harmful. Be beneficial or be harmful depends on how we use. Make sense? If you know how to use, if you know how to enjoy, life is beautiful. If you don't know how, life is suffering. Yes?
Kind of like, a lot of people are anxious about school, but if we know that the end result will bring us higher knowledge, doesn't that make it enjoyable?
That's the point. That's the point, right? So if you, that's if you know the end result, yeah, you put yourself in doing homework, right? This is sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's just take a lot of time. You sit up playing games, talking to people. You have to sit there to read the material and so forth. But you have to know the end result. You know, to enjoy that. Yes. All right. So it's up to your views of life. How you handle this? It's not because of money, because of the pen, because of the chair, or other people. It's because of your mind, your state of mind. So, how many of you have taken psychology class before? Oh, most of you. So, you know, in psychology, we talk about positive and negative mind, right? Right? Positive and negative mind, or thoughts. So, if you in the side positive, you much better. But if you have a negative mind, what happened? Oh, I could not do much on tests. I could not be successful, and so forth. You will harm yourself. You obstruct yourself. That's why we have to have strong, solid determination whenever we do things. Right? Okay, let's move on. Number 3. Who does number 3? Which one? No. Oh. No one. Now, let me ask you, what is your main purpose of going to school, or the end result?
To help others.
To help others, yes.
Get the job.
Has the job, right? Make money, right? Have good life, right? Based on material, right? So how many of you go to school because you want to have better job? Yeah, probably most of you, right? And it's pretty rare for someone to say, "Oh, I go to school because I want to help other people." It's pretty rare. When I was young, I have that kind of motivation too. It's common. But how many of you have a job now? In your field? In your major? Oh, good. You enjoy? They pay you well? Good. You know, sometimes, even some people, they graduate from college, but they work day and night. They could not get into their professional field, right? And sometimes it's first grade too. It depends upon in Buddhist view, the progression. Have you been in the nursing home before? We asked you before, right? So let's say if whichever we are, let's say the one that have let's say the wealthy people, the famous people, but eventually they may end up in the nursing home, right? So let's say if you were one of them, you enjoy your life. At the end of your life, you enjoy. You understand what I'm talking about? In the past, you were whoever, a president of a big company, whichever. Now you are disabled. Now you're handicapped. Now you sit on a wheelchair and so forth. You enjoy your life? No way. That's a circle of life. That's physical. That's circle of life. So that's why in life you need to balance out, right? Physical and mental life. Okay, let us move on. That's what we talk about the mental the suffering there. Let's say number 4 then. Who does number 4? Which one? Yes. Yes. What is your challenge of human mentality or psychological dissatisfaction? What is the challenge, you think?
Well, they stem, I guess, from kind of a misguided value system. There's I guess it was described in one of the things I read as like the illusion, or it's like the problem is consciousness, and that we have consciousness, and so we've developed, I guess, a value system that is in and of itself misguided, and that leads to a lot of the dissatisfaction that we see because I guess it's how we perceive the world and how we perceive reality that has to change in order for us to be satisfied.
Okay, let me ask you, before I move on to explain, let me ask you, why do you have test anxiety. Why? Tell me why.
You're nervous.
You're nervous. Why?
Because you've been
Why?
worried about failing. So
You don't know the result. Not yet. Not a real one. Why? You want to have what? Right? You want to have good score, maximum score in test. That's what you know first. Is that right? When we talk later on, we'll talk about expectations, so we know what. This happened to me when I was in college too. That whenever I had expectation or having good score, what happened when they got back the test and it had only D or C, the first rate. Is that right? So whenever we have that risk, we have anxiety there. Anxiety that we don't get the good score. And what happened if we don't get good score? We may fail the class, or we may not have good GPA and so forth. Is that right? That's why this is anxiety. How about the stress then? Let's say most of you have some kind of relationship, right? Right? And let's say why you stress out with your girlfriends, your boyfriends, or whoever friends you hang around with. Why? You have that stress in your relationship. Why?
Because they're worrisome.
Huh?
Because they get on your nerves.
Why? Why they get on your nerves? Why?
They do things to make you upset. Not on purpose, but
What else? What else? Why are you nervous about them?
You have an attachment.
Huh?
You have an attachment to that.
Okay, yeah, we talk about attachment later on, but why? Why we have that type of nervous, what type of anxiety, what type of stress about them?
you
Why?
don't want to lose them.
Yes, we don't want to lose them. What happens if your boyfriend's girlfriend to go out with other in front of your eyes? Right? You're jealous, you're angry, and so forth, right? Yes, that's what we talk about the cause there. The cause of suffering there. Let's move on about this one. Oh yeah, let's move on number 5 then. Yes, number 5. Yes, what's your attachment? So you have?
What?
You have? No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Good.
attachment is bad
Why? Why is bad?
because Buddhism states that life is ever changing and that life is a fleeting moment. But if we are attached to our desires, we will pass past life, and we're blinded by stuff like material possessions and things like ties to other people, and it causes us not makes it makes it so that we can't reach nirvana because we're attached to life. We're stuck in the cycle of rebirth.
Now
Yeah.
forget. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Finish. Yeah.
Attachment comes from the ignorant self and is the opposite of enlightenment. Attachment to pleasures causes you to live a meaningless life, that it brings an endless cycle of suffering, although it gives us joy in the beginning. Desires also. Early Buddhists tried to escape pleasure without mutilation. I don't know where I'm going with this. But, Buddha also said that total detachment is bad, and he preached for a middle path where you remove desires and live a natural life where you neither deprive nor indulge in pleasures.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But let's review number 1 first. You see that this is the map for aging, death, and so forth. That's for physical body and mental suffering there. Now, let me go back to your comment. Forget about Buddhism, okay? Talking about the real life. What's wrong? Is there anything wrong with attachment? Why, lady? Why?
I just don't see anything.
You don't see any problem with attachment?
It depends how far your attachment is to that thing or person.
Can you give one example? Let's say if somehow you drop your laptop It's hurt you?
Yes.
Why? Why it's hurt you?
Because it's expensive to get anyone.
You may lose all the data, information that you store there, right? It's hurt you. And what else you can do? When you drop your laptop down on the floor, or somehow you pour coffee on your laptop, accidentally, of course. Yeah. So what should you do after that? You cry?
No, I find a way to fix it.
What happens if no one can fix that?
Well, then that's it.
Really?
There's nothing I can do.
Nothing you can do?
Insurance.
Insurance? Yeah, insurance on laptop?
No, I didn't buy one.
Oh, really? Oh. Oh. Most you have pet, right? What happens if one of your pet die? It hurt you?
Yeah.
Alright. Why you cry? Why?
Because I absolutely love my dogs. And
Can you get back him?
no,
Uh-huh. So crying has some purpose or benefit? You understand what I'm trying to ask?
I do.
You understand that now? Right? If, let's say, if you break your laptop and no one can fix it, and you punch the door and so forth, can you solve that? You understand what I'm trying to say? That's one part of what they call attachment. Yes, lady?
Would it be similar to what people consider love? You're attached to a person, and then you lose that person, is it better to not love at all? Because then you're not going to be suffering, but then if you become attached, you have a possibility of being of suffering. So it would be better to not be attached, or in that case?
Again. That's human. That's human. We have some sort of some kind of attachment, especially yes.
I mean, even it don't bodhisattvas even have attachments to helping humans?
No, that's different. That's different.
But what about taking like the oath that you will come, like if you reach
Nirvana?
they instead of accepting nirvana, isn't there in some sort of Buddhism where you come back as a bodhisattva?
Okay,
keep
let me
until-
give you one example so you understand. Anyone of you has children? Oh, you have. How many do you have? This is not a personal question, but of course you love your child, girl or boy? Okay. Okay, so you can sacrifice your life for him, right? But can you sacrifice your life for other boys? No. You see the difference? That's why you have to recognize when we talk about we discussed this here. I want to move on this one here. Here in Buddhism, the Buddha say what? Craving, attachment, or anger, and so forth. That's the poison. Why is poison? Now, let me ask you, what's the difference between love and compassion? What's the difference? What's the difference? If you understand these two words, you would understand. Do we need to have attachment? Or is better to have attachment, or is better to detach everything? What's the difference between love and compassion? Yes, sir.
I'm guessing love would be an attachment of compassion.
Two very different. Yes.
Is love like more selfish than compassion?
I don't get your voice there.
Is love maybe stronger than
Huh?
compassion? Is love stronger than compassion?
Oh, stronger. Remember? Okay, let's talk about definition of love first. What's mean by love? Let's say when you love someone else, would you say you're compassionate to someone else, or you want to say you love someone else? Well, that's different. Yes, sir.
What about unconditional love?
Well, it's not when we talk about love. Okay, let me put it this way. Love, most of the time, go with attachment, right? I love him or her because I like his feature or her feature, and so forth. When you say I feel compassion to someone else, what happened? It's somehow you say you feel pity, sympathy, right?
Yeah, but you're not attached to them.
Yeah, that's the point. You understand now, lady? Bodhisattva can have compassion. But if for us, human, we have love, we have tactile. It's messy. So which one is better?
Compassion.
Love? Remember, love blind you, right? Is that right? Blind you? Yeah. Sometimes you love someone else, you may not care much about what's happened to him, but later on you find out his garbage or her garbage, you don't know what to tell her. Is that right? So remember, that's the difference. You understand that? So for human, for sentient beings, most of the time we stop with here. Love go with attachment. For Bodhisattva, they care for others, but with the equal mind, with the real of the compassionate mind. Whether let's say whether they are our children or not, we take good care for the same. Yes.
But could you be too attached to the desire for enlightenment?
That's a different story too. This is similar too. It's similar. Let's say even someone like to do more meditation, and even the Buddha say don't attach to your level of meditation.
I think I read something like that. Like, like after a certain point, you shouldn't meditate like for over 6 hours.
No, depend.
Needs to.
The times or the formats may not be important in your state of mind. Okay, let's just move on. So let's see attachment. Okay, here I want to is just we talk about attachment, right? Now these are the five main things that the Buddha has spelled out. We have some kind of attachment to the wealth, right? That's why we go to school. We want to be rich. We want to be and we want to be famous. We want to enjoy our food. We want to enjoy our vacation, right? When you interview for the job, right? You want to know how much vacation they give to you, right? And you want to have some kind of romantic intimacy relationship. And especially number two, it's easy to stress you out, right? It's easy to have heartbroken, right? That's one. Because of what? Attachment. So lady, you understand? So it's up to you. Good or bad, it's up to you. Your choice. Right? It's up to you to handle your life. You can have some kind of relationship, but is this healthy or not? It's up to you. Sometimes, okay, it's like the pendulum. It's like the pendulum, right? Here, love, and here what? Hatred, right? Why? If you love someone but they don't love you, they don't show that type of love, what happens? Is that right? The more you love them, the more hatred you have, right? And have dealt with many couples. Before, wow, they're wonderful couples. But after they divorce, they see each other as enemies. Does that happen to you sometimes? Some of you, or even some of your parents do, right? Or your friends, whoever. That's why. That's just the more you swim, the more energy you have here. In love, in attachment, the more hatred, the more anger we have here. That's why this is the Buddhist way of life. We need to balance right here. We have to stabilize that kind of emotion. Okay, so let's move on. Number 6, right? Number 6. Yes, number 6. No. Okay. What's wrong with expectation again? What's wrong? Is anything wrong with expectation?
It makes you hopeful.
It's different. Yes.
If it lets you down, then disappointment or something.
You expect your wife, your husband, you expect your spouse, you expect your boyfriends, girlfriends to be a wonderful person. but he or she turned out to be and be disappointed. And I told you that have anxiety, you expect yourself to have an A and so forth, but you could not. That's why, right? And projection, what's projection? You project your mind, right? Sometimes, it depends upon whether you like or dislike people, right? If you like certain type of people, you may project your mind. Oh, that person is so beautiful, right? If you don't like that person, you project your mind. Oh, he's ugly and so forth. He has some problem. He has some problem there. Does that make sense? That's our projection and manipulation too. Okay, number 7, please. Number 7, yes. What's happened with rejection or fight or flight? What
I think
happened?
it's kind of confusing to figure out to find information on rejection or fighting or flight. And what I took from it was that it was talking about rejection of things that cause suffering. Is that what we were talking about? And using the information that you posted on Blackboard and also the book, it's kind of similar to the third noble truth, which is talking about getting rid of things that cause suffering. And those are feelings of greed and greed and delusion. It talks about rejecting things that cause suffering, and that by rejecting these things you can stop the end of suffering, and that this itself is related to nirvana because once you end these things, nirvana itself means to cool, right? To cool down, and I kind of connected that to if you were to reject these things, you're not going to be feeling hatred and negative feelings, and that itself will get you into a neutral state. So that's what I took from it.
You mean that in meditation?
Not meditation, but where you're not feeling strong feelings of, well, whether it's love or hate, but it's just like, the book calls it an eternal mindset, I guess, something like that.
Okay, let's talk about the common knowledge about rejection. Have you been rejected by your boss, by your professors, by your friends, girlfriends, and boyfriends, especially, right? By your parents, sometimes, right? It's hurt, right? How can you deal with that? Let's say when you were rejected by your friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, how could you deal with that? And they walk away with other ladies, other men. So how do you deal with that?
I know acceptance. I know how.
How?
I just find different friends.
Oh really? Oh, okay. So you like that even, right? Okay. So it's happened. It's happened in our life, right? So that's what we relate to the attachment too. And so remember, there's many ways. So I have many ways to deal with this, and we talk about here, right? Fight or flight. What happened with fight or flight in psychology? What did they talk about fight or flight?
You're in a situation and it's like a life or death situation where you need to react quick. Your fight or flight senses kick in, and determining what your mind thinks you can do. You either fight or you flight.
Is that good or bad? That's healthy, unhealthy?
Well, which one? Both of them?
Yep.
Like having that sense is healthy because it keeps you from, like it can keep you from certain situations.
Yeah, that's why. That's why stress comes from. When you take a test, you fight with the test, or you want to run away from the test. You have to fight with the test, right? Or even after the result, you may fight with the professor. No, I'm supposed to get an A, not a B or B plus. No, I don't like it. You see that? Or even if your boss say, I'm sorry, today is the last day, you fight properly, right? Alright. And sometimes you may not find much, you could not find much, you run away. That's just the mood of the stress, the psychology. That's what the cause of suffering there, right? And this raises a lot of problems for our life. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Let's see. Number 8, yes?
So they talked about the Buddhist views on anger and
Yes.
how they deal with it. So Buddhists view anger as another aspect of life, something that just is
Negative or positive?
I mean,
Or
it's
healthy?
negative. Negative. It just happens. Like you'll get angry.
Okay.
But it talks about how they deal with it. So they have anger and aversion, so they can get to deal with it. They forgive and they find understanding in the situation or whatever made them angry. And then some solutions to the anger is patience, realization of the noble truth, which is the first noble truth, suffering, understanding of karma, changing and accepting, realistic analysis, realization of emptiness, openness, and meditation.
Most of the big company now, they offer what we call anger management. Is that right? You heard about that?
Yeah.
Do they have a class here in school? Deal with the anger?
I think there's a club about it.
Huh?
There are clubs, the association.
Oh, okay. So again, in talking about your own experience, anything wrong with anger?
Anything wrong with anger?
Anything wrong with anger? It's healthy, unhealthy?
Unhealthy.
Unhealthy, right?
It like depends on how much anger, but
Especially the men. Have you ever punched the door?
Yeah, actually.
Accidentally?
No, actually.
Really, you did?
Yeah, I punched.
Alright, you did. Okay. This hurt, or do you list anger? Not really. This is a training too. So anger again is unhealthy. That's why remember the Buddha said that anger is one of the poison too. It's in our mind. It's harmful for our mind. That's why we have to deal. That's the cause of suffering there. That's when what happened nowadays, right? Especially in Middle East, right? With the terrorists and so forth. Why do they want to be terrorists? Like why do we want to carry the bomb and explode and harm themselves and kill other people? Why? Why? They have so much hatred, right? There's one man, his pilot. He just visited my temple recently, and right now he's the trainers. That means he train people to fly. So he told me that many people who came from Middle East, they came from wealthy families. So he told me that many of them, they say that they don't like America, don't like even American. And so he asked why. They don't know. And probably because they were brainwashed out there, and that's why they have that kind of anger and they want to do some harmful things to our country or whoever. Alright, so again, this comes from the ignorance too. So that's what happened. That's what happened. We have September 11th, right? When you still in high school, elementary. Okay, this is terrible. That just come from anger. Okay, so be careful. Okay, sometimes we harm other people, we even harm ourselves because of that kind of anger too. Alright. And you have when you drive and someone cut you off. Road rage. It's happened. Can you handle that?
No.
No way.
Houston, I tried.
Can you if someone swear to you, or can you handle that? Especially for men, right? There's no way. And have you seen many people? So be careful. Be careful. That type of anger, right? So may be harmful. Okay, so today we just talk more about that. This sin and the last one. Who does the last one? Oh yes, please. You do the last one, please.
The fourth noble truth, and it's basically just a formula for removing desire, which is the noble eightfold path.
Yes.
It's considered the cure for the continuous cycle of rebirth, suffering, and death. Buddha considered it a practical goal-directed guide that outlines the necessary and progressive means for the realization of nirvana. So it contains the 8 ideals, which are traditionally broken up into 3 different things. One of them is morality, which is like the right speech and action in your livelihood. There's meditation, which is the right effort, mindfulness, and concentration in everything that you do. And then finally, the cultivation of wisdom, which is your right view and your right thought. So with the morality, the right speech and action, everything includes the 5 precepts, which is the no intentional destruction of life, no stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, or intoxication, anything like that. And then we move on to the meditation, which is your right mindfulness. And in there, they say that the most important form of meditation is the insight meditation, which pays careful attention to the 3 marks of existence, which is suffering, impermanence, and non-self. And these 3 things are true at all times and in all places, which when you get to the 3rd part, which is wisdom, it's a faculty that enables someone to unfailingly see the reality clearly amid the constant flow of human existence. You can see into the fundamental truth of any situation in front of you, regardless.
Thank you. So, Buddhists pray every day. So it's work for you guys? Sometimes it's work, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes. So on this Thursday we talk about 8-fold paths, and that's the way that the Buddha prescribed how to deal with our emotion. We cannot please the body. Even the doctor, when we 100 years old, there's no one can give us a medicine to live forever, right? But even for us now, young or old, male, female, we have the ability to transform our mind. The Buddha provides a way how to transform our mind. And by this Thursday, we will study. Before I list the numbers, please again, some of you have not done anything as 1 or 2, but please, if you could upload your response to the blackboard, can email to me. And please check my comment on the blackboard, okay? So please come up here, pick up the number. Thank you.